we're sure to see a wave of video game projects being adapted into other mediums.
But adapted?
I don't want to see. Oh my god! You know what this reminds me of? Can I just tell you what this reminds me of real quick? This is exactly what this reminds me of. Let me see. What are some other video game movies? Let's just do this. Okay, this is where I see this going in my mind. Okay. Yeah, that's okay. This is where I see this going in my mind. From this, okay, to this. I don't want a Marvel Studios type comic book movie adaptation trend of fucking video games. I don't want this. I don't want this. I don't want to see this trend of all the garbage. It's already happening, but it's already happening. It is inevitable. It's already happening. It's like comic book movies have finally run their course and people are sick of them. And now it's video game movies time to be really awful to the point that people like them at first and then they get burnt the fuck out of this. It's just going to be the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. God, movies cannot die quicker. Honestly, movies and TV shows as a medium cannot die quicker. Fucking hell.
Putting something into another medium is a tricky thing to do.
I just don't want to see all. I don't want to see. Why is his helmet off? Why? Why is he not wearing his helmet? It's fucking Master Chief. Why does he not have a helmet on? The more realistic a game tries to be, the more it bores you. Well, this is why we end up with two different spectrums. Oh, fuck. Someone showed me this game recently. Well, I mean, we can even just look at fucking the crab game I played. You know? But we can take two fucking complete opposite ends of the spectrum here, right? But this is where video games have progressed. This is like the evolution of games recently. Is you have... Like, you had games that tried to be what... so let's take it. I think a good example is God of War, okay? God of War is a good example. Because this game was super, super narrative focused. And I think not just narrative focused. I think the best word for it is God of War was... it had... What's the word? Like a human element to the game. Like, it's character driven. It's character focused, character driven. The thing that makes you enjoy the game is the fact that, like, the characters are well written characters. I would say at this point in time in games, if you try to release a game that has a narrative and doesn't have good writing, you can't make it work. 20 years ago, you could make it work. You could release a game that had character writing that was garbage, and people would buy it. People wouldn't care, right? There's like, I think a good example even is, I'm going to use another Naughty Dog game, like Jak and Daxter, right? Jak and Daxter was a really good game, but like the characters aren't like deep characters. Like, they don't really have like emotion. You know, in Jak and Daxter 3, you find out at the very end of the game, mild spoilers I guess, that like this one old dude who you find in like a desert village was actually your dad the whole time, and you never knew until he dies. And as soon as he dies, you find out that he was your dad, and then Jak is like, no! And that's it. And there's like no emotional pain, like there's nothing emotional about it, right? You can't get away with that in current year. 20 years ago, that shit was fire, though. That shit was fire 20 years ago. Current year, you can't get away with that, okay? Current year, you have that scene in your game, and the player has to want to cry, okay? You have to make the player cry for that scene. You can't just make the player go like, damn, bro, that sucks, and move on. Or, the other direction the games have gone is hyper stylized, I would say. They've gone like hyper stylized, and they've gone hyper, like the complete opposite direction. No narrative. Nobody cares about narrative. Nobody cares about story. Nobody needs a plot. We don't need a plot. We don't need a narrative. We don't need anything but pretty colors and good gameplay. And games have really split, in my opinion. They've really diverged in these two directions. Meme machine and really deep, like, engaging story and characters. Like Fortnite. There's no fucking, you don't need a plot for Fortnite. You don't need anything. You just put LeBron James in the same game as fucking Spider-Man and Goku, and it's chilling, you know? It's a good time, and it's fun. But they've really hyper-specialized, I think, a lot of the time. That's what I'm saying, I guess. And I think they're both good, in my opinion. I like both things. Like, I like Fortnite, genuinely. I like the crab game I played, where you play as a crab with a gun, and the only plot is that you're a crab with a gun and you kill other crabs, and you become crab champion. That game is fucking awesome. I don't need a plot other than that. Like, that's awesome. You know? And yeah, I think I never played Red Dead Redemption 2, but I loved Red Dead Redemption 1, and I've heard only good things about Red Dead Redemption 2. You know, you unironically love stories that are shoehorned into genres that don't need stories. Yeah, honestly, me too. I think the most recent one I played that was really fun was Stray. Stray was really fun, and I really, really enjoyed the story in Stray. And that's like an interesting and bizarre mix where there's not really that much plot. Hades is Hades is a really good example. Hades is the best example. There was no need for Hades to have such a good story. There was no need for Hades to have such... the characters in Hades... Oh my god, you're gonna make me want to play Hades again. I might play Hades. Fuck. I'd have to start a new game over because I've already beaten it a long time ago, though. But I could play Hades again. Hades fucks so hard. Okay, can we do this? Can we keep watching the video, but can we just play Hades while we watch it? I just want to, before I start playing, all I'm saying is, Dusa is my girlfriend. None of you can have her. She belongs to me. She is my girlfriend. You can't have her. I'm sorry.